lesson for Compassion Camp this week. In our Bible story, we learned about a paralyzed man and his very brave friends. The paralyzed man wanted to go see Jesus because he heard that he could help heal him. The man's friends took him to the house where Jesus was, but it was super crowded. There were just so many people. Did this stop the friends? Nope. They worked together and came up with a plan to get their friend to Jesus. They climbed up on the roof and made a hole above where Jesus was. Then they lowered their friend down to Jesus. When Jesus saw their faith, he immediately healed the man. Wow, that paralyzed man had some pretty awesome friends, don't you think? They were so kind to carry their friend to Jesus, and they showed bravery when they climbed up onto the roof. These friends knew that Jesus could help their friend and did everything they could to get their friend to Jesus. Helping a friend is a very good way to show compassion. Did you know that even animals show compassion to one another in the wild? It is really cool to explore stories of animals helping one another. This book, Amazing Animal Friendships, explores a lot of those cool animals helping one another. Let's take a look together. Before we look at all of these animal relationships, let's talk about some vocab. Symbiosis is a really important word. Symbiosis means living together. These organisms that work together and show compassion to one another are in symbiotic relationships. When the relationship helps both of the animals, it's a beneficial relationship. We also call this mutualism. There's probably a lot of organisms or animals on this page that you recognize. We're going to look at some more of them as we go. Let's take a look. Zebras and oxpeckers. An animal dermatologist? What could this be? Well, zebras, we probably recognize these striped animals. Maybe you've seen them at the zoo or in a book or in a movie. Zebras need a dermatologist. Doesn't that sound silly? A dermatologist is a doctor that helps humans with their skin. But in this case, instead of a human dermatologist, it's an oxpecker. That's a type of bird. Oxpeckers have a very special beak shape, and this beak shape helps them pick the dirt or food crumbs or little bugs on the zebra. It helps the oxpecker pick them up so that they can get a snack. But when the oxpecker gets a snack, the zebra gets a bath. Sounds a little silly, but it's actually really neat. The oxpecker will also just hang out on the zebra, use him as a chair, a place to stand and spend the day. And oxpeckers don't just help zebras, they also help giraffes, buffaloes, rhinos, and hippos. Let's learn a little more about hippos though. It'll be pretty neat. Hippos need baths too. And they don't just get a bath from the birds. They also use fish. Fish will hang out eating their food crumbs, even picking their food out of their teeth. The fish get a snack and the hippos get a bath. The fish like to hang out around the hippo because they know they'll get a meal. The hippos help other friends too. They'll give herons and turtles a ride, like a taxi. Sometimes the animal world is just silly. Let's look at some more examples. Common clownfish and anemones. This might look familiar if you've ever seen Finding Nemo or maybe Finding Dory. Nemo is a clownfish, and he and his dad live in a sea anemone. Clownfish are able to live in the sea anemone because they don't feel the stinging cells. Stinging anemones are actually predators. Their tentacles have many stinging cells that they use to catch prey. The tentacles are covered with slime so they don't sting each other. Did you know that shrimp can also live in the sea anemone? Isn't that pretty neat? The clownfish attract other food for the sea anemone to eat. Let's look at another example. Ants and aphids. Aphids are these little green bugs that live on the underside of leaves. Aphids attack the plant and suck out a sweet nectar. And the aphids eat so much nectar that the excess or the extra just sweats out of their body. And they leave what we call honeydew droplets on the plant. The ants like to eat that honeydew. So ants and aphids get along great. Ladybugs look really cute. They're my favorite insect actually. But ladybugs hunt the aphids, and ants don't like that. So ants protect the aphids and keep them safe. They also will take care of the aphid eggs and the aphid babies, and they'll carry the aphids around. It's pretty neat that they are able to work together like this. And being a bodyguard feels like it's pretty brave when they stand up to predators of the aphids. These are just a few examples of amazing animal friendships. There are even more examples of animals working together and showing compassion. Check out the Science Lesson Resources link. You can find an article to read and some videos to watch to learn more about animals working together. One big job for scientists is to observe animals and see how they interact. With the science resources, you can also find a link to the Houston Zoo and the San Diego Zoo live webcams. These webcams let you observe animals in real time. Be sure to look for how they are working together and helping one another. Using the internet to learn more about animals is a lot of fun, but make sure you check with your parents first and maybe even ask for their help. We want to always be safe and smart when using the internet. Don't forget to share what you learned on social media and tag @St. Mark's Love and #St. Mark's Love. See you next week.